this is the kind of stuff Taylor Swift should be producing here. This is upbeat, positive love stuff. Doesn't have to be about breakups all the time. It can just be about, although I guess that first lyric kind of suggests that maybe they did break up. And now they got to get back together. Yeah. You know, but there's a lot of, when in doubt, go to the Beatles. The Beatles will supply you with what you need, Jonas.
Are you Beatles or Stones?
Both are great. Stones would be my first choice, personally.
I saw the Stones, guess where?
Where?
Carolina?
San Jose.
San Jose, no way.
What year?
Yeah.
Like, about?
I don't know. I was teammates with Brett Hedekin, who was familiar with the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
And he just called me in the afternoon. He said, the Stones are playing over at the rink. Do you want to go check it out? And I said, yeah, I'll go check out the Stones.
Sweet.
So we went and sat in a luxury box and watched the Stones.
That'd be awesome. Mix in Pebble or what? That's a day. Pebble Beach.
He is
and
the same guy that I played Pebble Beach with the one time.
Brett Hedekin? That was disappointing, though, right? You had a really disappointing night or day at Pebble Beach. But
6.5 hour round with people that hit the ball 10 feet and did not pick it up.
Yeah, that's disappointing because my understanding is that St. Andrews, like you have to call ahead with your cap, and like if you have a high handicap or you can't play golf, you can't play St. Andrews. And if you call them and say, you know, listen, I'm an 8 or I'm a 10 cap, and you get up and you start slashing, they'll say you lied to us, you're out. Like that's got to be really tough. Imagine you fly to Scotland, you go to St. Andrews, you're a golf junkie, you claim you're like an 8 handicap, you get up there, you're so nervous. Slash a couple off the tee.
There's a video of a guy recently posted, and it said, this guy waited his whole life to play St. Andrews. He gets on to the first tee with a driving iron, and he slashes it directly sideways off of the property. Like you've never seen a golf ball there. And that's the only headline. This guy's been waiting his whole life to play St. Andrews.
Yeah.
And you could see there was some serious English people around that were like, come on, dude. And his buddies are dying.
So disappointing.
Dying laughing.
Because that first, you can't miss the fairway on that first tee. Like it's almost
Dude, it's the
impossible.
biggest fairway in the world.
Yeah, it's almost impossible. And if you do miss it, you shouldn't play St. Andrews. We should get into the Tiger Woods stuff here at some point because everyone's breaking down his walk, right? He was down with Charlie Woods playing some amateur event. I think down in Louisiana. There's a lot of rumors that he's coming back for the Hero Challenge, that he actually looks like he could be 100% ready to play. So maybe more on that. Jonas, I know you're a big Tiger guy. I know you really, right? You're really following the golf world. You're on top of things. Kevin Weeks a little bit later in the hour. The Thursday nighter tonight, Bears-Panthers. This has got to be the worst primetime game of the year, right? Like beforehand, like when trying to build it up, that doesn't mean it can't end up being a fun game. You've got young players, young quarterbacks, two teams that are trying to make a turn here at some point. But
do you think Al Michaels will go Aikman and just carve the game the whole night and say, why are we even doing it?
I'm concerned about it. I'm concerned about Michaels and his attention to detail tonight. Like because he's just got so much. I read a report this week. He's coming back next year. So he's going to stick around. He's doing his thing. He's maybe the greatest of all time. Games like this, he loses interest quick. And I expect that to be the case tonight.
He's a heavy hitter. Like he likes a heavy hitter game.
And he deserves a heavy hitter game, but he's not going to likely get one tonight. Although it is in Chicago, cool town. He'd get a great steak. I apparently eat steak at halftime. Will not eat vegetable.
Really?
Yeah. Steak.
Hasn't had a vegetable as an adult. And
ever.
That's not true.
He's never knowingly had one.
He doesn't think he had them as a kid either.
Right.
Why?
Because he doesn't like them.
He just hated them. And he just said, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, he's got the palate of a 6-year-old. Apparently only
80?
Yeah, he's 80 years old. He
never had vegetables.
Will not eat them. Will not eat them. He said he's probably had them unknowingly, and he's pissed in retrospect that it happened.
So he goes to a restaurant and he just gets a steak and they're like,
and potatoes. Although potatoes would count, I guess it's a vegetable. You're right. But probably potatoes.
And so if they put like asparagus, he's like, get that off.
Yes. Or it'll sit there and will not be touched. That's right. You got a problem with Al Michaels?
That's ridiculous.
No, it's not. I think that's legendary. All right, here's our boy Luke Wilson, our TSN NFL analyst. Lukey, try to build this one up for us, pal. What are we bracing for tonight? There it is, the pro athlete salute. Jonas, me and you, we can give a little fist pump.
The nerd salute.
The
Go
nerd
ahead.
salute,
Great job.
Jonas
Great
and I.
Job.
Bears Panthers tonight.
Yeah.
What are we looking for here? What are we building towards?
I really don't have much here. I will say the Bears' run defense has been pretty solid. And on the flip side, their pass defense has not been. So I could see, based on how C.J. Stroud played last week, some people in the Panthers organization really feeling a little bit of heat right now, and maybe letting Bryce Young sling it a little bit. But other than that, that's pretty much all I got as far as excitement goes.
Yeah, it feels like it's about the pick at the end of the year, where Carolina traded this upcoming pick to take Bryce Young, and Chicago's got their own pick and the Panthers pick, which should set up for a good future, right? Like if this was an organization that had those picks that I had faith in, I would say this is going to be a really good thing. Like you got to brace for a tough season. It's going to be. They're going to have to make a decision on Justin Fields at some point. I would move off him personally if you can get one of the two best kids in the draft in terms of quarterbacks. But this should be a launching pad, should it not? Like regardless of wins and losses, they end up with 2 top 5 picks. You better make those work.
I mean, Hayes, I hear you, but that's easier said than done. I mean, a case in point is Fields. You see guys consistently now like picking these guys, whether it's quarterback or another position, and not developing them, or it's not fitting in, or there's a disagreement with the front office, and it just doesn't work out. And like, as much as I know that's a storyline we like to talk about, I think a great example is Houston. Last year, Houston won that game late in the year, and everyone was going nuts. Like, that just cost them the first overall pick. Well, they're certainly looking pretty nice right now. They got a late win last year, and at the moment, obviously there's still a ton of time, the better of the two quarterbacks. So, again, I'm not like, and I don't think too many people in the league or the front office really look that far into these things. And at the end of the day, too, if you're talking to a front office guy, they'd rather have players that they already have there so that in the draft they have a little more flexibility and it's not just dire need. So, again, I know it is kind of a fun storyline to think about, but I don't think that'll be on the top of anyone's mind really in the front office or, of course, any of the players tonight.
Partsy, would you like to apologize for last week? Because or I mean, I tried to tell you, Pards, and all I ask is this.
You did.
There are situations, you being the NFL guy, you have to get past that and say, "Oh, dog, you're my Partsy," and there's just something, a light went off in your right, oh, dog, because I tried to tell you the Chargers, and you said, "No, I love the Jets," and you admitted it was the worst pick in the history of this segment. Explain yourself.
Well, it definitely was, and it was tough because now, unfortunately, Hayes thinks he has a hope, and it's crazy to me, partially because I see these tweets being like, Hayes is coming back, and I'm like, the dude's 5 back, and it was the first weekend we were sub 500 on the whole year, but that's neither here nor there. As soon as the punt return happened, I was like, oh no, this is bad, because the Jets, when you have Zach Wilson, have a very small margin for victory, and in that small margin, giving up a punt return for a touchdown is not one of the things you can handle. So I definitely need to wear that. Partsy, that's on me. I apologize. I should have went with the Los Angeles Chargers that night, which is also kind of crazy. But I really don't think that we should be in panic mode here. We're +5 still. I got a feeling that Hayes is going to take the Bears tonight, which would be a brutal pick. They're going to lose that. We'll be +6 heading in, and we'll have the European game on Sunday morning.
I know the reverse psychology here means you think I should take the Bears. Like, I get what you're doing there. And I'll get to my pick momentarily, don't you worry. But me only being down 5, like Jonas, you're a numbers guy. We have half the season left, all right? And this week we have another 6-pack of games because Bill Belichick is tarps off in Frankfurt
Don't bring Jonas into this. Don't guilt Jonas into this, Hayes. He's not going to lie to you.
Jonas knows the analytics of the way I operate. You've known me a long time. I've always been a second half guy. I've been an adjustment at the half kind of guy. And I'm within a touchdown. I'm only -5. I'm coming on hot. I saw the board really well last week. These guys are going to puke. They already started last week. They took the Jets over the Chargers. Like, be honest, you probably feel pretty good about me taking off starting tonight, I would assume. I don't want to put words in.
Well, I know your pick tonight, and I kind of like it.
You like where I'm at?
I think
you want me to make the announcement?
I think you should.
I'm on Carolina tonight.
Yes.
I'm on Carolina. I'm taking the points tonight. I love Bryce Young. I think this is a team that in the second half is actually going to win games.
Young.
I do. I can't take Tyson Bagent again. The guy, and his dad was a arm wrestler. Apparently he's a professional arm wrestler, which I didn't even know that was a profession.
What is it you do? I arm wrestle.
I arm wrestle for cash at back alleys in the South. Bagent,
Stallone,
though,
over the top.
that's
I
exactly
love
what it was. He took on Stallone. But the tape's out. Bagent had that first game that was pretty good. They've lost 2 in a row. The Bears, Eberflus doesn't know what the hell's going on. We saw his presser yesterday. It's a mess. I like where the Panthers are going to be in the second half. I'm making second half adjustments in terms of Hayes and company. I think the Panthers will do the same thing. 2 awful teams. When in doubt, I'll take the points. So I will take the points. I'm on Carolina tonight. You love that pick, Jonas.
I think the lesson from last week for you guys, don't take the bad quarterback. Take the best quarterback.
Bryce Young is the best quarterback on the field tonight. What do you make of that, Owen Wilson?
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I probably would have taken the Panthers as well, but let's backtrack here. Off the air last week, I asked you verbatim, would you?
Yes.
I was shocked that you were so pro on the Chargers. Show ends, I go, you really would have taken the Chargers if it was your pick? And you said, no, I'm on the Jets all night tonight.
No.
And now all of a sudden it's the
This is exactly what he said. He goes, that's the play. I would have done the same thing.
No,
and then he just starts shaking his head. He's such a moron.
Here's what happens. This is called buttering them up, Jonas. This is a part of the second half plan, right? The adjustments at the
strategy?
half. The adjustments at the half are make these guys feel confident when deep down inside you know they have no confidence. And it's going to be 2 things are going to clash here: a complete lack of confidence, of self-esteem, but then me over here propping them up, and they think I'm being sarcastic. So then their mind starts racing. And they don't know what to think. And it worked out beautifully because you walked out of there thinking, yeah, the Jets are going to cover it because Hayes and company thought so. Hayes and company's the champ.
Is visually uncomfortable right now because he's your friend, he's beside you, but he doesn't have the heart to say on air that he doesn't believe anything that you're spewing. He knows you have no hope. Last weekend was a complete fluke, and it will be right back to normal.
Okay. All right, we'll see,
we got
to
like, have you heard the clip of the coach?
Eberflus, you want to play it? Let's play it, all right?
Listen to this, Partsy, and tell me what you really think of this cat and these comments.
Like you said, he's not medically cleared to go right now, and he's getting better though. I mean, he's accuracy's improving. He's throwing it better, and he's starting to do more and more and more. So we'll see where it goes. And right now, we're listing him as doubtful, and we'll see where it goes from there.
If he's not medically cleared, well, how come doubtful versus out?
Yeah, just to see. We got to give him one more day. But he's working hard, and it's getting better every day. So we'll see where it goes.
He's not playing tomorrow.
Yeah, he's not playing.
I'm having trouble understanding. He's not playing, but he's doubtful. Is he out or doubtful?
Now he's listed as doubtful.
But you're saying that he's out. He's not going to play.
We'll see where it goes. The chances are doubtful, 51% that he's in or out, and it's going to be. We'll see where it is. We got a little time left, but again, we'll declare him out when he's out. Right now, we're still listing him as doubtful.
Dude, that's insane, Partsy.
Like, what's with that cat?
Okay,
That's on Justin Fields.
So to me, I almost feel like either 1, he's trolling all of us, or 2, he simply has no idea. Like, I don't know if he missed the morning meeting with the trainers, but for him to be like, oh no, he's out. Actually, he's doubtful. 51% he's in or out. That's not, like, none of those things make any sense. And the other thing that gets a little strange is when he starts saying, like, he's throwing the ball more accurately, et cetera, et cetera. Like, so when they were rehabbing this thing, he just lost all accuracy or couldn't grip, the football. And I don't know. I mean, I know there's obviously an issue there, but is that the deciding factor, how accurate the throws are? I mean, the whole thing makes literally no sense. Again, I almost felt like he was scrambling a bit. And then on the flip side, maybe part of it is that he wants them to prep like Fields might be in there. So I don't know if the whole no, he's out is a slip up. Like, I don't know.
That's what's shocking. Like, if there's gamesmanship, then you say, I feel really good. I think he might play. You don't say, no, he's out. Yeah, that guy's not playing. And then afterwards be like 51%. It screams ineptitude. It screams Chicago Bears football. That's why I don't think Frank Reich would do that. And I don't think that would happen if this was, Bryce Young and my Carolina Panthers. So I'm on the Panthers tonight. I'm going to lay the points. I feel good about starting this week. I feel a 6-0 week is ahead of me again. My main man, Vern Troyer, would say that too, right, Jonas? I think you would be a big fan of that.
Partsy, that is concerning to me, Parts, where it's like, if he has the immaculate weekend, you
guys are toast. You're literally chasing me. And once I pass you, you will never catch me again.
Wait, can I give you some information that I learned that might change your pick?
Okay, I could have used that about 10 minutes ago, Jonas. But go ahead.
Bajan's dad, he's a 28-time world champion arm wrestler who's nicknamed the Beast. He's 6'3", 265.
Is he going to be there tonight?
What the hell does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. Maybe
tackle tonight?
Maybe you think the son is going to get something.
Change it, Hayes.
Yeah, it makes no
Change
difference.
it, Hayes.
I don't know.
Never.
The Beast.
Never.
Son of
The
the
whole
Beast.
show could have gone without that comment.
Yeah. What is Bryce Young's dad doing? Find that out. He's probably a reputable guy with a good job.
I don't know.
Corner
This
office.
makes me think like Bajan might have it.
No, I'm not worried about it. Bryce Young's the man. The Panthers are the play. What do you make of all these, Bill Belichick reports? Luke, we were talking about it extensively yesterday. Like, there's some heavy hitter media guys in Boston saying this guy might be. The writing could be on the wall already for Bill Belichick in New England.
Well, first and foremost, I'm going to address Partsy's question about what happens if we're down one. Nothing happens, O-Dog. There's no shot Hayes can win this. We make our picks with football fundamentals. Hayes has no idea what he's talking about. It's 50-50. He gets a little lucky. That's the bottom line on that.
One last thing on Hayes. He's not a professional athlete.
Okay.
Oh, man. On the flip side, you talk about Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Hayes, I understand they've looked terrible, and I've been tough on them. And, I've said this on Jay a few times, but to me, the Patriots are actually the most shocking storyline. Now, it's not fun to talk about, but why I say that is because for the last decade that I was involved in the NFL, every single time you played the Patriots, it not necessarily was loaded with all pro players. Obviously, Tom Brady, Gronk, they had good players. I'm not saying that now, great players. But you look, especially on their defense, and this is, again, my era, so post the Willie McGinnis, Teddy Bruschi time. And it was like, wow, these guys are wildly disciplined. Wow, they're extremely well coached. They make hardly any mistakes. And that was kind of how they won a lot of football games, was they just played this very clean style football, and it was almost like rinse and repeat every year with New England. Now, all of a sudden, they look terrible. I mean, there's been turnover issues like crazy. They give up explosive plays. Nobody seems to be making plays on either side of the ball. And to me, it's like, how did Bill go for, again, the run he's been on with all of these great teams to this team? But that being said, I don't know. Like, I'm not, and I could be wrong here, but I just can't see them firing Bill Belichick. Like, who else are you going to get?
Like ever or just now?
Now, I mean, really ever? I mean, I could see it if he strings another year, like next year, if they go 2-14, or I guess 15 now, I keep forgetting 17 games. Like, sure. But I think they give this guy at least one more year here. I mean, the idea that they're going to cut ties with Bill Belichick, it just reeks of insanity to me. Because at the end of the day, as much as I don't love Bill Belichick, I certainly don't love a specific one of his apprentices, as we all know. But the guy's won everything, and he's won it with different people. Obviously, outside of Tom, he's run it in different eras. I can't see them thinking, hey, you know what? We got to get rid of Bill and find someone else that's going to be better than Bill Belichick, unless Bill's checked out. Unless there's something we don't know about and Bill's completely checked out, which I highly doubt.
Just seeing this information, our boy Chris sent this. Bryce Young's dad, his name is Craig. He's a mental health therapist. Panthers by 1 million tonight.
The Beast.
Yes. No, the Beast has got nothing, dude. It's all about IQ, football IQ, and that's what the Panthers are going to bring to the table. Yeah, the Belichick stuff, it's not going to happen during the season. Like, Kraft's not going to do that. He's worthy of at least having the dignity of walking away at the end of the season. If he were to be fired, quote unquote, they would label it as a mutual parting of the ways. That's another thing. Like, guys
Also,
of that stature, that's what they get.
Yes. Was there not some sort of report that came out 3 weeks ago that he signed a secret extension?
Yes, before the season started, during the offseason.
Yes, which I have a hard time believing that Robert Kraft would do this secret extension and then 9 games in, granted they're 2-7, they look terrible, be like, you know what? All of the thought that I put in to that quote unquote secret extension, I'm throwing it out the window because you can't coach football anymore. Again, I think the whole thing reeks of fraudulent activity, which is probably why, you're very familiar with it.
Yes.
All right, Hayes and Company starting week 10 with the Panthers. I'm going 6-0 this week. That will give me the lead overall. Jonas and I will never look back. You're aware of it, right? Everyone knows it. Everyone knows the analytics and where this is going. These guys are starting to implode.
Dog, I get a little nervous here.
Yes, the meters. You should be nervous.
Dog, you good over there, man? You look a little nervous, man. Have faith in Team Owen Wilson, man. We're in good shape.
He's a professional athlete that doesn't have the makings of one.
Dude, I do not, and I am not afraid of a nerd who had a casino in his parents' basement and flunked out of college. That will never scare me. Party!
Let's go.
We're out of here. We'll see you tomorrow, Luke. There he is, Luke Wilson.
See you guys.
Team Owen Wilson. Hayes and Company on the Panthers tonight. Right, Jonas? Come on, Joe. I need some help, man. I'm on an island here. It's all good. I'm down -5, but I'll turn things around.
Dude, I do feel bad for you because you get that pick and you're like, I hate these teams.
Yeah.
And I don't even really want to watch, and I'm just going to be looking at the score.
You know what, though?
Terrible game.
Who has more incentive to win this game? Carolina.
Yes, they don't have their pick.
Right?
Now, I don't think the players think that way, but the coach, Frank Reich, I'm taking Reich over
Eberflus, and he's going to try to...
Yeah, he doesn't know what's going on. Doesn't have a clue. All right, so Panthers, Bears. Tonight, the Oilers are in action in San Jose. This is going to be a really interesting viewing experience because it's must win. It's San Jose. They're the worst team we've seen in a long time.
Quasi hate watching if you're not an Oilers fan.
Well, exactly. If you're looking for destruction, you're watching hoping they lose. You talk about bedlam.
That's rubbernecking a car accident.
It is, man. If Edmonton loses tonight and McDavid struggles and Skinner gets pulled and Pickard goes in, it is DEFCON 1 in Edmonton. Then all bets are off. What's going to happen? Who is going to possibly be in trouble?
Trouble for everyone.
It's massive trouble.
Yeah.
It's an embarrassment. Losing to San Jose at any point right now is all borderline inexcusable.
If they dump this one, though, the biggest problem is guys will go out for dinner after, and they're the core guys will have to have a beer and say, we could miss the playoffs here. And that is the most alarming thing. When 3 weeks ago, all the talk was everybody came in early, they did the skates, and now you're going to miss the playoffs. That's insane to even think about that.
Yeah, it happens quickly, right? And they're in San Jose tonight, and they're in Seattle on Saturday, and Seattle's having the same conversations right now. They lost in overtime, I believe, in Arizona last night. They are off to a putrid start themselves. And something's got to give out there. In the Pacific Division, LA beat Vegas last night. They look good. LA's won 4 in a row. Defensively, they're really good, really sound. We saw them. They came in here, dismantled the Leafs. Dismantled the Leafs.
That LA team is real deal, man.
Yeah, they are.
They're all business, and they got good players. And just same things we talked about in Boston, Brian. It's there are things that are happening out there that are non-negotiable if you wear that jersey, and the special talents of certain individuals will take themselves outside the dimensions of that and do special things, whether it be on the power play or a skill play off the rush. But there's stuff there that everybody is doing, and that allows the big scoreboard, which is the most important thing. That's why they generally will get more wins than losses.
Yep.
Very simple stuff.
That's right. And, the Oilers, what's wild is if San Jose wins in reg tonight, they're tied with Edmonton. That's how bad it is.
How many goals does Connor McDavid have? Does he have 5 goals?
He's got a point a game.
You know how many goals San Jose has?
Not many. Connor's got 2 goals. He's only scored twice. He's got 10 points in 9 games.
What do you think the Jerry's percentage is of Edmonton winning tonight? I think it's 97%.
It feels like it's
I told you, Daryl
90.
Sittler is being flown out there because McDavid's getting 10 points tonight.
Yeah,
that's how confident I am. There is no chance they're losing this game. I would bet the house on it.
That's what gets
Charles
dangerous,
Barkley,
though, man.
guarantee.
But I thought they'd beat Vancouver. I thought they were going to beat Nashville on Saturday at home.
Yeah, but those are better
This team
teams.
lost twice
Nashville's
last
not
week
a great
by
team.
10.
Yeah, no, I hear you. San Jose is as bad as it possibly gets. Vancouver's good. But it wasn't even about the opponent. It was more about I thought Edmonton would finally snap out of it, and they didn't do it.
I'll tell you what, though, a greasy goal early could really get their
Yes.
head spinning, like a little floater from the point.
Big time. Calvin Pickard starts reaching for his mask. That's troublesome. You hope it doesn't happen. All right, Kevin Weeks coming up. More on this. What he's hearing on the Patrick Kane front. Seems like Kane could be moving towards a decision. Maybe the Leafs are involved. Maybe they're not. Who knows? Would it be a good fit? We'll catch up with Weeks to get his take on that. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 2. All right, we'll get to our best bets brought to you by FanDuel later in the hour. I don't know if we have to keep playing the Beatles. What do you think, Jonas? I think we did it once, and that's a good song, though. A little bit dark, but it's not bad. Some of their later stuff. I know you're familiar with that.
I am.
As you should be. All right. So the Leafs are back in action tomorrow night. Hall of Fame game. Oh, you'll be down there, right? All the Hall of Famers are going to be here.
I'm forward to it. Yeah, seeing the guys that are going in. It's just a great vibe. Even when I played in the game with the Leafs, it was one of those games where you had an understanding that basically everybody in hockey was in the building. So why not have a good one?
Absolutely. And it's a big one for both teams. The Leafs are not playing well, coming off an embarrassing loss last night. Calgary's now won a couple in a row, but they're not in a great spot overall. Chat about it among some other storylines throughout the NHL. Here's our good buddy, longtime NHLer, former teammate of yours. You see him on ESPN, NHL Network. You see him everywhere. Here's Kevin Weeks. How you doing, Weeksy?
Fellas, what's going on? What's happening? Is that my boy No Dog there? Because it used to be O-Dog, but he's forgotten about me a little bit. So I don't know if he's changed it officially to No Dog. I wasn't sure. I'm just asking. He's my boy.
Right. Weeksy, let me guess. You're the guy that says, "What's up, man? You never text me anymore." But on the same side, you never text me. So it's like, what is the deal with that? Weeksy, I wanted to ask you, because I know our time together that we spent some time in the training room, and we would always talk about like the little things about hockey players, like hockey sense.
Sure.
Even back in the days when we were growing up in Toronto and different players. Do you think, like, as watching as much as you do, like we're talking about clock management, we're basically talking about all the stupid stuff that teams are doing right now. Do you get the sense, like, just hockey sense and game management and knowing the clock and just simple stuff has gone, like, out the window?
I think to some extent, yeah. I think you're onto something there, and the reason why is I feel like so many players are on a fast track to the league. And given the fact that we have salary cap, you want young players in there quicker because they're still on their entry-level deals. So all of that to say, I totally see that. I see what you're seeing.
But Kev, even as a young player, you played with some great young players where it's like, if it's 3-1 in the third period, it's got to go in behind the defenseman. You can't cough it up. I kind of equate it to like these guys. It's all about their like individual businesses.
I was going to say running numbers.
Yes, it's like I got to get my stats. And the idea of the score clock above them, it seems like it's non-existent.
So you make a great point. And the reason why I prefaced it that way is if you are, let's look at the three teams in the Atlantic, okay? So let's start there at home in Teal. We'll look at the Leafs. Now we can put Ottawa in there. We can put Detroit, even put Buffalo in there, right? All those teams, although Detroit added some veteran players. But all those young players got their deals, right? They all got their deals. They don't have to worry about it. Everybody's on a deal now. Everybody's gotten their deals in Toronto with the exception of Willie Nylander. But all those young players got their deals, so they all have their bread. So what do you do now? You've got the security. Dial into playing more of a team game, to your point. And now you don't really have to worry about your numbers as such. Play the team style of game. Try to not only get in the playoffs if you're one of those teams, try to make a run. Try to go deep. Once you get in, we know that from our 0-2 team. Once you get in, anything is possible. But yes, I do believe that there's a lot more focus from a lot of the guys on running the numbers as opposed to making the right chip, making the right play, changing at the right time, recognizing that you're up 3-1 on the road, for example, or things of that nature. So you're definitely onto something. I totally agree with that.
With Kevin Weeks, you're as connected as it gets in terms of, looking at trades, hearing different stuff, breaking stuff. Like, it's early, yet there's angst up here in Toronto, as I know you're aware of, and already people are calling on the new GM to make a move and trade for pieces or move pieces off the roster or what have you.
They can't, Hayes. Like
that. Well, that's what I'm asking. Like, is it too early to even consider anything significant in terms of roster movement?
All right. So yesterday I broke that deal with Addison getting traded from Minnie, right? And then the one after with Minnie trading for Zach Bogosian. Okay. So those are relatively small deals, so to speak, because Minnie, they still have the money on the cap from Zach Parise and Ryan Suter that don't play there anymore. So they've got to be a little bit economical on what they do. But is it too early? I literally I just got off the phone with a prominent agent right before you guys called in. And I spoke to two agents that are top level guys earlier in the day. Is it too early? I don't think it's too early. And here's why I'm going to say I don't think it's too early. If you're going to make a deal, it's one thing to wait and see how your team is going to be. Everybody needs to get a feel, right? They need to get a feel for their team. But the challenge is, to me, the longer you wait on making some deals, if you've identified a player that you want, the longer that you wait on doing the deal, the price could very well go up, or somebody else could set the market. That's kind of the challenge. Now, specifically for the Leafs, though, if you're asking me, I think we all know that the Leafs need help on the blue line. Mm-hmm. And I know for a fact, from speaking to somebody really close to this, that the Leafs are one of, let's say, 4 teams that have inquired about Nikita Zadorov from Calgary. But at this point in time, the Calgary Flames, they too are trying to get a feel. Did we just have a slow start? Or is there more to our group? We believe there's more to our group, Craig Conroy and Joe McGinley and company think. So they want to give it a bit of time, but Zadorov is one of them. Here's another guy, Chris Tanev from back home. Mm-hmm. All he does is eat shots. He's the type of player. For me as a tender, I'm looking up at him, and just him eating those pucks all the time. Like, I would love, and I loved playing with guys like that. So those are 2 names, if I'm Leafs Nation, they're clearly looking at. But I know for a fact Zadorov one of them, but Tanev as well, and Tanev's a Toronto area guy, both him and his brother. So I think the Leafs need help on the blue line, and the sooner, to me, they can address that, the better.
Where does Patrick Kane come into all this? Not only with the Leafs, clearly.
Oh, here we go.
What is your projection here for Patrick Kane?
You boys are firing it up.
Yes.
Firing it up right now. Because I asked 2 people about this, including somebody very close within the Kane camp. I could say that the Leafs are among the teams that have showed interest. I can say that. They're one of the teams that have expressed interest without burning confidence of the relationship. Patrick Kane, I think, let me start. He was rehabbing in Eastman skating in Toronto.
Yep.
Clearly being a Buffalo kid, it's close for his parents and his family and sisters to be able to come to games. If it does happen to be the Toronto Maple Leafs, they are in the mix in terms of interested teams. He does not want to be a support player. He wants to be a player that's counted upon. He wants to contribute. And Kaner's like us in that he's a hockey nerd. He watches hockey all the time. So he's been watching all these games, all these teams, and trying to calculate where would be the best fit for him, because he doesn't want it to just be kind of a swan song. He wants to be on a team that he has a chance to play, he has a chance to contribute, and more importantly, a team that he believes has a chance to make a run in the playoffs. So I don't think I'm letting anything out of the bag, but the Toronto Maple Leafs are among those said clubs that have expressed interest for sure in Patrick Kane.
As far as what he wants to be paid, Weeksy, is it like our teams fooling themselves if they're calling up the Kane camp and thinking it's going to be some bottom basement deal? Because you still have to understand that it's Patrick Kane you're dealing with here.
Yes. Oh, dog, I didn't know that you were an associate of Pat Brisson. I didn't know you were one of Pat Brisson's associates. I like it. Well, of course, Fatty Brisson and CAA representing Patrick Kane. But you're right. I know that for a fact. Like, he's not coming there to get a 2-for-1 pizza coupon to be able to redeem at Keel in the 401. Like, he's not going anywhere for that. Patty Kane. Now, listen, he understands the cap environment. He's not going to come in and try to really upend somebody's cap. But nonetheless, You nailed it. This is Patrick Kane we're talking about. You're going to at least have to compensate him fairly. That's a part of the package. And if you think that you're going to be getting him on a coupon or on a voucher, then I think anybody doing that would be sadly mistaken.
Kevin, can I just ask you, if Patrick Kane came to you and he said, Kevin, where do you think I should go? Where do you think I fit best? Who do you think I have the best chance to win with? What's like the dream team, do you think, for Patrick Kane?
Okay, I would say, all right, there's a few teams that I would name. This is me speaking. This is not from what I gleaned from speaking.
Because I don't see the fit here. I don't love the fit here. Like, where do you think he fits best?
I think the Florida fit would be nice for him, Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a nice fit. And the reason why is whether he's playing with the junkyard dog, Matthew Tkachuk, who I love, whether he's playing with him, whether he's playing with Swaggy Verhaeghe, Toronto kid too, and Carter Verhaeghe, whether he's playing with him or if he's playing with Barkov, I just think that there's some really good fits for him. Remember, Ekblad's still injured on the way back. So is Montour, who's an ace for them on the back end. They're two top D. They've been injured, working their way back from surgery. They're close to returning. If Bobrovsky continues to stay healthy, and just based on what they did in the postseason, and O and I both played for Paul Maurice. O did longer than I did, going back to Hartford. So I would say Florida as of now. It's not that I'm eliminating any other team, but as we're kind of hot stoving right now with the crew, I would say Florida. That would be my play as of right now, as of today.
With Kevin Weeks, let me paint a picture for you, and then you tell me how you think things play out from there. Mm-hmm. Edmonton loses 4-1 tonight.
Wow.
Oh, we have that game on our air.
Yes, of course you do. McDavid's asleep. Draisaitl's asleep. Skinner doesn't look good. What happens on that plane up to Seattle after the game?
Well, first thing, I don't know that the lobster tails. I was going to say, first of all, it's going to be one of two things. It's either going to be rowdy and not because the boys are feeling good. So with profanity and rowdiness, and or B, it's going to be quieter than, a church before the Christmas Eve procession takes place. Mm-hmm. That's what I would tell you right now. And I'll put it to you guys this way. Kenny Holland's been a long time. He's a Hall of Fame GM. We all know what Kenny's done in this game. If I'm the Oilers, and I just spoke, we had Jeremy Swayman on our air the other day. I don't care what the price is. That's who I would go out and get. And I'm not pinning all this on their goaltending either, by the way, because as and you guys know, they've just been disjointed. They're disjointed offensively. They're disjointed in terms of their penalty kill. They're disjointed in terms of how they defend as a team. But I would pay the moon, the stars, and the sun. I'd even bring one of the three wise men in, throw them in the deal to be able to get Jeremy Swayman from Boston. That would be me as a starter, as a starting kind of point, as a starting point. And if they lose this one tonight in San Jose, to your point,
ugly, as ugly as it could possibly get. Like they'd be 2-9-1 and lose to the most embarrassing team maybe in pro sports right now. And that's saying
and
something.
Think about this. Yeah, and think about this too, fellas. Like, if you are the Oil, right? Like, Connor was pretty pointed, and I heard this from Gretz from the Great 99, and that Connor, after they got eliminated last year, he's like, guys, we're coming back early. Unless your wife or your significant other is expecting, we're all back early. We're doing this, we're doing that, So it's not like for a lack of application or trying. They're just right now playing really poorly, and they're very disjointed when you watch them play. And they brought in his agent, Jeff Jackson, into the front office. Leon only has another year left on his deal. I think it expires after next season. Like, if these guys can't get on track, the point I'm making is, question mark, does Connor McDavid and or Leon Draisaitl, do they want to stay there long term? So if you don't want to have to find out the answer to that, then you've got to squeeze everything out of the Canadian Tire chamois right now and friggin' try and bring in whoever you can. Like, that's why I'm talking about Swayman. I'm not saying it's only Swayman, but to me, that would be the apple of my eye if I was the Edmonton Oilers right now.
Wakesy, before we get you out of here, I got a quiz question for you. Do you remember the name of our little burger joint that was like kitty corner to where we both lived? Do you remember that spot? Little burgers on the corner there?
Oh, in Carolina?
In that little plaza. Me
in
and
the
you
plaza.
didn't-
I can't, bro.
It was like
I can't
cookout
remember
or
the,
something.
Yeah, it was cookout. It was cookout, actually. It's cookout.
They
It's cookout.
dialed up a gorgeous burger and a fry, did they not?
A nice burger and a fry with a nice grilled onions on the burger too. So good. so good. Oh, you have me craving that right now, actually.
It's professional diets, professional athletes.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. You know what? You got to mix it in once in a while.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
You got to. Hey, listen. Even Formula One cars have motor oil in them, so you need a little grease once in a while.
You got to mix it up every once in a while. That's the way you operate. Thank you,
You have
Wixie.
to.
Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, you guys are done with me already?
Yes.
All right. Well, great hearing you guys.
You're always welcome on
Appreciate
this
you,
show.
man.
You know that. We appreciate you doing it.
Appreciate
Thank
you. Thanks for having me on.
You
All
got
right,
it.
keep up the great work. Thanks.
There he is.
Ciao.
Kevin Weeks, ESPN, NHL Network, Toronto
I
guy.
love his sayings. Like he's a puck eater.
Mm-hmm.
The Canadian Tire sham. The three wise men.
I got to be honest, Jeff. You sound a little Clint Eastwood, Gran Torino at the top there.
Which one?
What's that?
The old, like the players today, they're not as smart as they
Yeah.
used to be.
Yeah, listen.
I had another
people.
former player agree with me, so I have no idea what the hell
You're
you're
both
talking.
Clint Eastwood.
Take that into consideration. All right.
Okay.
Come
Okay, well,
back.
see, if you want, Jonas, I say this to everybody. If you want, we'll sit down and watch the games, and I'll show you.
No,
More than happy. I'm more than happy.
Yeah,
Do a
but-
little write-up.
Not a live one.
That's a
like
great
the tape.
idea.
We'll go through the tape.
Sitting down
I'll
with the
sit
old
with
dog.
you and Myrtle, okay, and I'll show you.
All right. I don't know why Myrtle's taking shrapnel. That doesn't seem necessary, but
No, I just know you're close, and you guys do a podcast together, so we'll sit and go through it. We'll break it down.
all right. Best bets brought to you by FanDuel coming up. Bears Panthers tonight. Oilers in Edmonton. You got a battle of Ottawa versus Vancouver. That's gonna be a big game tonight too. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on the TSN app. All right, today's best bets are powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Bryce Young over 9.5 rushing yards tonight. I think he'll take off at times. The pocket will collapse. He's mobile. He can move. Again, I'm on the Panthers tonight. So Panthers +3. Bryce Young over 9.5 total rushing yards. Cole Kmet 25+ receiving yards. That's an alternate line, but pretty good tight end there in Chicago, although I don't necessarily love who's throwing the ball. But I'm on Kmet. A lot of people are looking at DJ Moore as like some revenge game tonight. I would be with that if Fields was playing. Just concerned about that quarterback in Chicago. So that parlay paying +328 currently on FanDuel. Today's best bets powered by FanDuel. The sweat begins at tip-off. You can bet your best NBA games. You can bet hockey games, football games. You can get it all at FanDuel. Please play responsibly, 19+, physically located in Ontario. All right, Jonas. I think we accomplished a lot on the show today. I think we had good discussion.
I agree.
Deeply rooted discussions about what's going on with the Leafs. They're in
know
action
what?
tomorrow.
Jonas, every time you're on in the future, we'll have a crony session. I'll call your buddy James. I thought that was just
That's
a good.
fun.
It was just a good Leaf conversation.
Yeah.
I have an
That's
idea
all.
I agree with
for
you.
a segment that I think you should do. I think it should be called Dumb Dumb Hockey. And then you could just like show some stuff. What do you think? Huh?
Dumb Dumb Hockey.
Yeah. And it
Is
would
that what
be
the
like
name should be?
Dumb hockey.
like Shaq has that segment where he kind of
Shacting a fool or
Shacting a
whatever
fool.
it is. Yeah. Shacting a fool is a great.
and they do it on primetime too. On Countdown?
yeah.
NFL Countdown? What is it called? Come on, man.
Yeah, they do. Come on, man, with like that's either mistakes or big hits or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Look at you programming.
Dumb
here at
Dumb
TSN.
Hockey.
Dumb Dumb Hockey by Jeff O'Neill.
I think I'll change the name up a little bit
Okay.
because it seems like an indictment on myself.
right.
Quite
it's
frankly,
like you're calling
but-
yourself a dummy, basically, and yeah. I think
like
there's
I
something
said,
there,
if
though.
you ever want to watch game management stuff or simple idea, like the idea of just hanging onto the puck and coughing it up all over the ice, I will show you a zillion I'll show you a zillion from last night. So,
what do you think
they
of
can
that,
do-
Jonas?
I think it would be a great story. I
Okay.
will write it.
All right.
I'm serious.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's
well,
do it.
you could tune into Sports Center before the game tomorrow because I'll be detailing them.
Yeah, you guys are going to be down at the rink. That's going to be a really cool game. I like that it's an all-Canadian matchup for the Hall of Fame game, too, right?
Yeah.
And you got 2 home games for the Leafs back-to-back, and then they're off to Sweden
It's a
next
tough
week.
back-to-back, yeah.
Yeah, Calgary tomorrow, desperate. Vancouver, red hot Saturday night. Like this home trip, this homestand was supposed to be one you get some damage done here. You're at home. Then you're going to Sweden. They're not going to play a lot of games.
No, and the games are at weird times.
Really weird, like an 8 a.m. game, I think, a 2 p.m. game over there.
Sweden's a dumb idea.
Yeah.
I
Especially
don't get
now that it's a bad start. I don't know if Sweden's a good thing.
Or maybe it is like
maybe
you get
it's a chance
town.
to reset. That's how they're going to spin it. That's the way you hope that it's going to work for them.
I just don't get with how busy an NHL schedule is. You want to throw Sweden in there or Australia. It's like there's enough travel that goes on.
They're all doing it. Right? The NFL's doing it. The NFL's in Frankfurt
but to
again.
his point, the NFL isn't like this schedule, right?
No, you play once a week.
Yeah.
Is that where old Billy Boy is allegedly?
Yeah, Billy's. I don't know. I don't think that was in Frankfurt. There's a video circulating online. Nothing nefarious, nothing illegal or anything. Just something was going on with Bill. I don't know what's up with Bill these days. All right. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes for helping out. We appreciate it. As always, everyone for tuning in today, radio, TV, podcast, web. We appreciate that. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy your games tonight. We're back tomorrow at
4 p.m. Jonas?
You'll chat then.